Alright, let's start it up. We are back with more Deceive Inc. Today. We are just going to have a little look ahead at what we are getting in our Operation Overhaul, as they're calling it. Phase 1, even. Operation Overhaul Phase 1. I wasn't really going to make videos on these deep dives, but then they just kept doing more and more, and well, when it finally drops, the patch notes are probably going to be huge because they're going to include all these things and whatever else. So I thought, in the interest of not making a super long patch video later, we'll go through these 6 deep dives they've posted and can talk about those a little bit, say my thoughts on those now. Then we'll do some more gameplay, and eventually, whenever the patch does drop, then we'll do a patch notes video as always, and we can more or less skip these parts so we don't have to repeat. So we're going to try to go as quick as possible. There's 6 of these, so I don't know the runtime of this video yet, but hopefully I got in under 25 minutes. So let's see how we do. First up, this one's really easy. Expanded ping system. There's 2 new pings, context and radial. Context, really easy. When you ping ammo, you get an ammo icon. When you ping intel, you get an intel icon. That's all they say. They don't really say it's on anything else. So, oh yeah, I should shout out, all of these are work in progress, and it could change. Again, this one's way back from January 19th, so they could have changed. But like what we see here may not be exactly what we get in the update, and that's true for all 6 of these we're going to go through. But this is what we got. So context pings and the radial menu, we have 8 different pings you can ping here. And let me hold those on screen for longer than a second while we sort of talk about them. Context pings, I think great. The ability to, ping. I only really play solos, so it doesn't affect me much. But when I do play duos, trying to tell your teammate there's, a intel over there you want them to grab or something like that, context pings are going to be a big help for that. Having these 8 things, 8 might be a little lot. Like, I'm not sure I'm ever going to use stop personally. Engage and sus kind of overlap. I think maybe if they tried hard they could get down to like 4, but this is a good idea. Want to see how it's implemented. We can't really know how it's going to be until it's implemented, and personally this one's not going to affect me too much. So in the interest of time, let's push right on. This is the first aid vial brief. So if you didn't know, first aid vials are coming. Actually, we can see in the background here, there's the vial itself in its thing you can find. There is actually a first aid dispenser from the look of it in the background there. So what they do, you can carry 3 of them. They heal you for 20. It takes 3 seconds. If you take any damage, run, or try to shoot, it's going to stop. Like, if you do any of these things during the 3 seconds, it's going to stop you. You can find them in maps, and you can buy them for 3 intel in staff rooms. And any expertise that puts you in a state. Not totally sure what in a state means, but it does call out Chavez invincibility and Larson poof specifically there, so you can't use your Larson invents ability and gain 20 HP during it. So this is pretty cool. These are really gonna be a how good are these in-game wait and see type thing. The goal of these, I believe they said, I'm not sure if it's in this document. Oh yeah, what's the intention? There we go. Let's just read it. Multiple reasons we want to include. Primary is to open up the gameplay to be more dynamic. New choices and what to spend time and intel on, definitely true. Do we want to, remove some stress from the healing station being camped? I don't know if camping healing station's a thing in games I'm playing, but that would alleviate it a little bit. And additional survivability is probably not really a thing. Let's see, right here, I think this is a big one. In team mode, you can allow you to not entirely abandon your team in low health and instead take cover, heal a bit, and then we can continue fighting. It allows you to sort of duck into some cover, maybe you get some health back and you can continue fighting, rather than just being like, I'm low, I'm leaving, because the best thing you can do in a team's fight, in my understanding, again, limited teams and duos play. So this may be incorrect, but you're low, you kind of leave so you can live to fight. If your team ends up winning that fight, that's great. If they end up losing that fight, at least you lived and can res them. So that sort of is good, and this will allow it you to not have to necessarily make that decision, or make it a tougher call at least. And they do call out the shield here, because if you put the shield down, you can kind of heal behind it. So they're doing playtesting on major shield changes. Again, we don't have any info on what that is, at least not in the first two. I don't think in any of the other ones. But they are going to be major shield changes alongside the health vials. Personally, I'm not sure how I feel about the health vials. 20 HP for 3 seconds is just a little bit less than gold social battery, which is pretty good, but usually people find better gold chips. So that's a pretty quick rate, assuming you don't get interrupted. Having only 3 of them means you can only heal a maximum of 60, and then you have to find more, which, like, presumably, does it say if these are dropped on death or not? It doesn't really say, but let's assume they are. You could heal your 60, pick up the spy pack that probably has their health vials or something, and then heal another 60, which is more than 100 health, but you know what I mean. It's doable, but again, you're going to be there for like 9 seconds. It's kind of a wait and see. You know, maybe if you win a fight by a little bit, you can just pop one of these to get back to full and not have to worry about finding food. I'm not sure. That's going to be true for a lot of the stuff we're going to see, is until I really play with it, this amount of information I have here is just going to be like, I need more info, I need to wait and see. It's really hard to make a decision if this is going to be, you know, overpowered. Is this going to change the game dramatically? Is this going to be absolutely useless? One thing I do want to bring up is staff room with the dispenser. That is going to make green rooms more valuable, and we might see a shift, because we see a lot of skipping green rooms in games. Even I had a recent video where I was like blue room first type thing, and then we can circle back for the green room where we can just kill someone for it. That was a strategy I was laying out. With these health vials and the dispensers in this room, makes these more valuable for sure, but it is going to cost you 3 intel, which is the same as a green chip itself. Like 3 intel early game is kind of a lot if you're trying to stack up and get to a purple room. So we'll see, you know, how many of these we actually get in the game and how many we actually use per game would be interesting. And I'm kind of holding judgment on the health vials. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen. Obviously there's some, you know, strong stuff we can see, and Madame snaps away and now can just heal and cover before resuming the fight, rather than having to like find food or something. There's definitely some strong things that way. And yeah, there's some strong combos I can see. So it's really just a wait and see what'll happen. How often do you have 3 seconds in a solos 1v1 fight? That's a whole nother question. I don't know if there's a lot of time where I had 3 seconds to stand basically still and heal. Anyway, we're going to push on from this, because again, time is not on my side. Would like to get this video in less than 25 minutes, I said. So that's kind of all my thoughts. I can't really say whether this is going to be good, bad, useless, perfect. I have no idea at this time. And well, I want to play with it. I'm really curious, and I'm excited for the change. So I really want to see how it will impact the game more than anything. All right, we are now on, this one's big apparently, the combat overhaul. This one should go quick. Visual updates. Every single weapon is now getting its own unique firing and reload animations. So before, like the Duke here, Chavez Weapon 3 used like the same animations as Chavez Weapon 1. Now it's got its own firing, and you can see especially the reload animation there. And that's not as important, just the visuals. But here, recoil changes and damage fall off really did get a big change. So first of all, recoil smoothed out across the entire cast. Let's look at these images here, and I'll scroll back up. So they call this recoil smooth up. This one at the recoil smooth. This one at the top is the current. You can see we drift upward if you don't compensate. This is the after. That's not any recoil, by the way. That dot is realistically not moving. If I keep my mouse right on that dot, it's no recoil on that gun. It's just not moving. So I'm not totally sure that's what their intent was, but at least for this gun that they're showing off, that is recoilless. And then let's see where they say we are making damage fall off a bigger part of the game with weapons losing potency over distance. So fast death at long range less likely. That's really all they say about that. I don't see, yeah, they don't really carry on about the damage fall off, which honestly I think is going to be the bigger impact of these two things, because, you know, if we're shooting down this hallway, how much damage on my 8 damage shot am I going to lose from here to there is kind of a big deal. So that'll be really interesting to see. I think the damage fall off is going to be the really important thing, and we have no info except that they're adding it. If you don't know how damage fall off works currently, there's pretty much none. You have to be really far away to get any, and even then it's like single digits of damage, like 1 and 2 fall off, with the exception of snipers like aces that have 0 damage fall off over distance at all, and shotguns, which have more apparently, but it is sort of hard to see that. So yeah. Collision between undercover spies. I'm not going to click the view the GIF, mostly because I don't know where that goes. I didn't prep that tab, I'm sorry. So 2 out of cover spies will now collide, which should make meleeing, they call it meleeing specifically, better, which will be really good. Also just probably low key help for console players. If you run through a console player, they have to turn all the way around, and it's a lot slower than keyboard mouse player. So now you can't run straight through someone when you're both out of cover, at least. So hopefully this does help the melee issues. I'm sure everyone's complained about that, and I definitely have myself. Obviously, we can't really know what that's going to look like until we know what it looks like, and I'm not going to click the view GIF, I'm sorry. Directional hit, this is a big important change. Basically, instead of you being like, hey, somewhere over here someone hits you, well, you took a little damage from that direction. You took a lot of damage from that direction. Way better directional indicators, can't wait for that. We're going to get to know exactly where you got shot from. And controller aim assist rework, no idea, they're working on it. You can read this paragraph. I don't use a controller. Hopefully the aim assist, you know, gets better, I'm assuming is what they're going for. But I'm not even going to talk about it because I don't fully understand or need to know. So I'm sorry if you're a controller player. Hopefully this is good for you. And we're going to push on. This one, map update, real important. This is probably maybe going to be the longest section. There's updating the map, and again, these changes are subject to change. So hard sell, we got a piece of glass here. The tunnels into the vault. We got a way into the bathroom from, this is near the mid area. So the bathroom used to have to go all the way around and back over here. Now you can just cut in there. Here's a different shot of it. Pretty nice that, you know, just more pathways and you're not necessarily locked into one position, and the bathrooms just aren't like a dead end where someone can camp out here and you just kind of get caught in there. That's happened to me several times, and I've done it to someone several times where they run in and you just kind of they have to go through you now. That looks like all there is for hard sell. Silver Reef, substantial update in and outside the vault. Alright, this bridge is missing. There used to be a bridge here. That's D and C on our left. There's a bridge. I go across it all the time. It's not there anymore. Now there's just balconies. But on the other hand, they've added a staircase right there by the vault, so you can get up to this area nicely. And I believe there's already a staircase over there-ish by the bathroom on that side. So pretty good. We can see another shot of the staircase there. Yeah, and there's other stairs, I think, back there. Yeah, back there, there's stairs. I know, Silver Reef. And then in the vault, new entrance down here. Not sure this is going to be super useful, but they have added new vault entrance and additional flank routes. That's what we're looking at. So this goes to where it always went. That was always here. There's one here now. Don't really know why you maybe won't just run around in there instead of there, but that's where they added a door. Maybe there is paths better. Obviously this is the inside. that goes down the hallway there. This is actually not leading to that door, by the way. This is into the vault more, so I'm assuming this also goes into the vault more. Because this door would be behind us in this shot. Yeah. So there's going to be some flank and cargo area underneath the main terminal. Which I guess is probably where that path goes. And maybe that path, maybe those don't connect. Diamond Spire, here we go. Massive update, here we go. Reducing rooms without exit and smoother flow to fights and escapes. Outside the vault, we got scaffolding. You can see on the side of the building here, and the side of the building here, scaffolding. Notably doesn't go to the top floor. You can jump from there to the balcony, and then you got to take the stairs. It doesn't seem to go to A on either side. Oh, maybe, but there's glass. I don't know. We can't really tell on this side. This one, definitely. That's a floor too low. This one, maybe. Sorry. So there we go. And yeah, that's it. High profile. So I'm assuming there's not going to be NPCs on them. High profile escape options. We got a lot more cover. Main hall received visual cover on all the bridges. There's now banners. There's a lot more cover in this area. That's pretty nice. And inside the vault, this is pretty important. 2 new restrooms have been added to give more free-flowing options between the 3 main corridors. So here before, we're looking out towards, so the other bathroom would be this way. This is like the stairs. This is the purple door on either side of us. And then cut through this bathroom. And because it says more options between the 3, I'm assuming if you go through here, you can get out to the other like corridor that way. And these sort of all are another way to traverse between all those 3 corridors. I don't think we see that, no. This is probably my favorite change. The rooftop was updated. We got a restroom and a staff room, which means there's going to be more intel on the roof, and we're going to be able to get into A meaningfully at the start of the game. Restroom here, I guess just 1. Can we see? Hang on. That's the restroom there. That didn't used to be there. So actually it's replacing that. So there may not be more until there. And this is the same, or was that that? Hang on. This is on the right side. It's this one. So that must be the staff room, I'm guessing. This one is the... Also, yeah, these pictures are slightly different, aren't they? Look, this little bar here across doesn't seem to be present there. Well, whatever. They're from different points of their build, probably. No big deal. Let's move on to Fragrant Shore. Fragrant Shore is getting a lot of small visual updates. You know, unique storefronts. That's really it. There's no real better player. You know, they're helping you distinguish areas. That's really all Fragrant Shore needed. I don't know if there was a big thing that needed done. Sound Eclipse. This is some nice changes. More stairs. Let's see. Central Pole now has stairs on both sides, a lot better flow to prevent situations where it gets trapped. So that would be this area down here. Well, obviously they also added this green room, but now I'm assuming on the mirroring side, this is the green room again, but they also put stairs so you're not just stuck in a dead end. And they added this green room, and that's it. So that's pretty cool. There's +1 green room here, and it's going to be a little easier to find green rooms on this map, along with not really getting trapped in those dead ends, which I've mostly just avoided for fear that I would, so opens up those pathways a lot better. I'm pretty happy with everything they've shown here, and I know I went over that a lot. This one will be interesting for sure. That's a major change to the map. There's no way across the top from, you got to go to like the ends now, no middle path. And most of the other stuff was fairly minor. The Diamond Spire one, of course, I guess. These high profile, we'll see how that goes. Pretty excited for these map changes myself. Cover's nice. And the bathrooms. Yeah, the Diamond Spire Silver Reef ones are the most I'm excited for, especially the Diamond Spire ones. And the other ones are just kind of nice to have. And we're pushing on again in the interest of time. I don't know if we're going to make it. All right, this is Guards and Heat. They're updating both those together. So Now if you have no heat, guards will aggro from not as far away and will only hit you with melees. So not meant to interfere with PvP, but they can shoot you if if they can't reach you. And when you're at heat level 1, you now take 25% additional damage, and the guards start shooting. Basically, this is what guards are normally, or what they are now. Heat 2, you now take 50% increased damage. They aggro from further away, and you can now aggro a third guard instead of 2 guards. So if you didn't know, you could only have 2 guards chase you around at once. Now if you make it to heat 2, you can have a third guard chasing you down. And a heat level 3, 75% bonus damage, or increased damage, sorry, down from 100%. And guard response is identical to heat level 2 with the added downside of taking even more damage from their shots because of the additional vulnerable. So, they've also received tweaks to the melee to make them far less likely to punch you from behind. And their weapon damage did go up. And aggro guards will start building up your heat level over time, incentivizing the players to cut line of sight. So if you're just out of cover for a while and guards are chasing you around, they will just start building your heat up, so you can't just stand there at no heat forever. You will eventually hit level 1, they'll start shooting. Level 2, they'll start hitting you harder, and level 3. Here we go. And the heat gain buffer, I think this is a great change. The buffer where you can't gain heat after hitting a spy has been made longer. I'm sure we've all seen clips, or I have at least, where someone shoots a spy and then immediately after shoots an NPC and then suddenly heat. Hopefully that doesn't happen anymore. And yeah, so the intent is to reduce chaos in the average fight. Guard response scales with player action. If they play in a clean manner, guards are less of a threat. If they play in less of a clean manner, they're more of a threat, I suppose, is the idea. So we'll see how that actually turns out. It's really interesting that no heats mean they're only going to melee you. That's going to be interesting for sure. And then basically from then on, it's what they do, and then what they do stronger. So yeah, more reasons to keep your heat down if you didn't need already. You do take slightly less damage, but before, if you were getting a heat 3 before, well, probably had other issues to begin with. So alright, and finally we have the Infiltration AI Spies one. This one came out the most recently. Game flow changed vault printers. So in order to make phase 2 last longer, they have introduced a vault printer. Looks like this. A little 3D printer from the looks of it. A little print head. Alright, golden doors to the objective room. So the vault door you can no longer be open with 10 intel. You now need a gold keycard, but you cannot find a gold keycard anywhere. So I'm assuming that includes lost and found boxes, along with the one that could be, well, obviously it's the one that could be found, and I'm assuming it includes lost and found boxes because it says anywhere. You have to find one of the keycard printers hidden. So one of the keycard printers, meaning that there will be more than one, hidden around the vault, and use 10 intel to start a print. Once the print is started, there's going to be some feedback. It'll probably make noise, printing noise. And after 30 seconds, your keycard is ready to go. So I'm assuming you start the process, you do something for 30 seconds, you come and you pick up your keycard and you leave. Or you go to the gold door. So that'll be interesting. I think that's a good change to slow down phase 2. It's definitely, it obviously slows down phase 2 because it guarantees it's going to last 30 seconds longer than it did before, more or less. And then again, not that I condone camping, but there will be, fights around these printers. We don't know how many there will be beyond at least 2 because they're using plural printers. Right, so there may be fights around them, and you're going to know when they're active. Like there's going to be some, feedback. Yeah, the feedback on the printer. So presumably you'll know if someone started this printer. And I don't know exactly if you'll know how much time's left, but you'll know someone started it, and if someone's coming back for it, it'll definitely hopefully cause some fights in phase 2, which there weren't a ton of before because most people just ran into the vault and got the package. Maybe there was a fight once or twice. Anyway, introducing AI spies, spy bots. So this is the first phase of spy bots, so they're going to make some changes in the second phase at some point. Bots will be spreading throughout the matchmaking experience to help new players get a better grip of the gameplay without throwing them into the lion's den of full player matches. So, spy bots. Only solo queues are going to have AI spies for the first iteration. The amount of AI versus players will be bigger for beginners to help them have easier matches. AI spies will still be able to fill out lobbies that are not full to keep things interested, and if you run private lobbies, there's a fill with bots option. So the intent here is pretty clear. We want to put some AI spies. They're probably not going to be, you know, amazing players. Actually, it says lower, but we'll say they're not going to be the greatest spies in the world, but there'll be somebody that newer players can go against and, you know, shoot, win, and learn the game without getting, you know, ran over by level 500, or players who've been playing the game since, you know, alpha, beta release, right? So again, the idea here is put some spies in beginner player lobbies, however they decide to define beginner, to give them easier matches and they can learn, right? That's what they're there for. And then also they could fill out other lobbies with these bots just to keep them interesting. Don't really know how that's going to play out. You know, if there's only 5 people in the lobby, are we going to supplement 5 bots? Are they going to cap? Maybe you can only have 2 bots. We don't know a lot of how that's going to work out. So it's really hard to pass judgment. There's been a lot of, I don't want to say pushback on this, because there hasn't been necessarily pushback, but a lot of people aren't really sure. I totally clicked a random button there. What this exactly means, and I don't either. I don't have any secrets, secret info here, but I assume it'll be in a way that players like, because that's what they're there for. Really, you know, I'm not a beginner, but if this helps beginners and that new player retention, that'll be great. That's really what I'm hoping for. If I have to, I'm gonna say put up with this. I don't even think this is all that bad. I wouldn't mind some easy fights in my games. If I have to put up with this to get this, I'm more than happy to do that. Let's get some new players in, get some new player retention, and you know, that'll be really good overall. There's a little more here. Yeah, bots are meant to be easy enemies, right? They're just meant to be there to fill out the lobby so that, you know, it doesn't feel empty, and new players can get a feel of what's going on and what they should be doing without, you know, just taking one wrong step and getting, you know, destroyed by some player with like thousands of games. So that's that. And then one last thing, there's a sandbox mode in private lobbies now. The only thing this does, turns off XP. You can't gain any XP. You already gain half XP from private lobbies, but it just unlocks everything in that lobby. So if you're playing with a group of friends, or you get a bunch of friends together, you know, say you gift 9 copies of the game, you all play together, you can just go into a sandbox game. You don't get any XP, but all your friends get to try whatever agent, weapon, whatever combination they want, without, you know, having to worry about getting mastery points and getting to mastery level 9 or 10 to get everything unlocked. It's pretty nice. I don't know if it'll be used a ton. At least, well, I already have everything unlocked, so maybe that's why I can't see it. But, you know, it should be, again, one of those new player experience things where, you know, you can just try stuff and play against bots at the same time and just figure it out. So that's it. This was 30 minutes. I'm going to end here before we pass the 30-minute mark. But I'm excited for the changes. Again, there's a lot of I don't know what's going to happen. And I don't, but I'm excited to see what happens. I assume that all this will be worked on and iterated on, and as they get feedback, you know, they'll react to change, you know, how the community reacts. we'll really see what happens with Deceive after this. And well, I look forward to seeing you there. So I will cut it off here now. We just passed the 30-minute mark, a little over what I wanted, but that's not surprising. So I will see you guys in the next video.